Hello, Wolfpack. We have 2 days left until the interest rates decision from the Federal Reserve, and the market is still sitting on support. This is good to see. Now, yesterday I predicted, or I didn't really predict, but I said it's more likely that we see a swing to the upside here, and I still got to stand by that. Given the fact that we have 2 days left, I think there still is time for another little upswing. However, I'm not betting on anything, and I've made it very clear in the last week or so that I'm not entering any trades right now. I'm not entering any Bitcoin positions. I'm not entering altcoins positions. Nothing. I'm not entering anything because I understand that even though the TA looks a certain way, it doesn't mean it is to play out that way due to the fact that the macro picture is much more important right now. I'm going to be doing an extensive video tonight about what it means with the interest rates rising or staying the same or declining, and I'm going to be making that a bit of a fact-based video of some data in there because a lot of people are showing a dramatic amount of lack of knowledge of the situation, and it's not good. And I've done a video on this about 3 weeks ago. It wasn't as extensive as I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to do a full video about it, about what the effect is on businesses, what the effect is on the stock market, etc., everyday person, and why this affects crypto. So get excited for that one because that's going to be quite an extensive video. But what I'm looking at today is Bitcoin, and the sense that Bitcoin right now is sitting on support, and it is kind of in a rock and a hard place right now because what we have right now is a support line that's held for about 2 months. And then above us, we have a resistance line at 42.5k that is kind of conjoining with 3 separate major diagonal resistance lines. Also 42.5k being one of the biggest centers of attention in the entire 2021 bull market, right? Right here, right here, right here, right here, right here again, and what we're testing right now. So 42.5k and also here as well. 42.5k is a major resistance zone by itself, but then we also have 3 diagonal resistance lines kind of conjoining to make that even harder to break to the upside. And if I was to look at some indicators, I could probably find a few that lined up with it. Ikomoku Cloud kind of does. The bull market support band is coming down towards 42.5k as well. And then we've also got the top of the Gaussian channel at 42.5k. So that's just showing you there that there's literally let me say it this way. If interest rates rise, there's a very small chance that Bitcoin's going to be able to break through 42.5k. All right. If by some miraculous hope or whatever, they stay the same, there's a decent chance, right? But as of this moment right now, the highest we can go on Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, is 42.5k. And as to whether even get there or not is a bigger question because, well, interest rates decisions in 2 days, and 42.5k is, let's see, 11% away. It's a bit of a big move to make in 2 days, but what I will say is that Bitcoin's been compressing quite heavily. If you look at something like the 4-hourly chart, you can see this compression, and you can see some bullish divergence start to play out here, and bullish MACD cross coming in as well. And so a bit of a W formation also is, it's kind of good to see. And so it's not hard to believe why I think that, or it's not hard to see why I think that, as of right now, it doesn't look so dramatically out of the question that a bullish scenario would play out in the short term. We could see a swing up to 42.5k before that interest rates decision is released, but it would have to be very quick and it'd have to start basically right now when this video released. And so, even though the TA looks good, I'm understanding that the macro picture is very bearish, and I understand that, well, that's probably not a good time to be entering any trades. And so it's very, very, very straightforward. We could very easily drop below this support line here. There's not really much keeping us there. Yeah, we have bullish divergence. Yeah, it's held up for a while. But given the macro picture, there's not really too much, all things considered, that are holding up Bitcoin right now. And when it does drop, it's definitely going to be going to prices like the 33k lows, like the 35k lows, and definitely below that as well. Now, if you're not familiar with my content, if you're not familiar with my videos, I predicted Bitcoin was going to go down into a bear market up in the lower 60k region. And I finalized my actual prediction at 58k, which is Bitcoin's going to go down towards the 200-week SMA. And if I brought up something for you to show you where that is, I'll just show you right now. And I'll bring up this 4-year cycle chart just to get it a little bit more accurate here. And I'll bring up the weekly. Take a look here at where the 200-week SMA is. Let's put it on logarithmic so you guys can see. So the 200-week SMA is this green line that I've just brought up. All right, that is where I think the bottom is going to be for Bitcoin. Why? Well, it's because it's the most amount of data we have in terms of predicting where a Bitcoin bottom is, right? We can't logically predict it's going to be below that point because it's never gone below that point before. And the number one rule of trading, of course, is invest with the trend until it ends. What we have seen is two separate macro bottoms on the 200-week SMA. We've seen 4 actual bottoms throughout history, right, including the COVID crash on the 200-week, and Bitcoin has never closed a weekly candle its entire lifespan below the 200-week SMA. And so, yeah, it'd be kind of irrational to assume it's going to start doing that now, but it is basically the ultimate bear market bottom indicator at this point, and that's currently at 20.5k. By the time we get there, which is going to be November, in my personal opinion, or before that point, so before November, it's going to be around 24k. All right, so 24k before November, most likely in November, is my bear market prediction for Bitcoin. I've been sticking by that for like 3 or 4 months now, and so that's nothing new. But as for the 4-year cycle theory, and this is another reason why I'm kind of skeptical about the short term, because like, yeah, it looks good on the short term, but like the macro picture is looking pretty bad. And then when you look into what a bear market actually is and what's constituting a bear market, we're in a bear market, and it looks like we're going to go further down. We have 413 days from top to bottom in 2013, 371 days from top to bottom in 2017, and assuming we reach the bottom in November, it would be 378 days, right? That's speculation at this point, and then we can take more data to make more kind of accurate connections between that, and some of that data would be from top to top in the previous cycle was 1,400, from top to top in the cycle after that was 1,400, from bottom to bottom in the cycles 2015 to 2018 was 1,400, and then speculating again, now that we have 3 data points, we can see from bottom to bottom in this supposed bottom in 2022 would be 1,400 and that would put it in November as well. And then on top of this, from bottom to top in 2015 to 2018, we saw 1,064 exactly. And then from bottom to top in 2018 to 2021, we saw 1,064 exactly. All right, so all of this is kind of lining up. And what this actually is, what I would call it, is a 4-year cycle theory. All of this is lining up to tell us, and if you actually looked into it for a second, all of this is lining up to tell us that the bottom's going to be roughly November, maybe December, all right, this year. And that's based off 4-year cycle. And so, look, being bullish on Bitcoin for any extended period of time due to that information is kind of illogical once you understand that. Now, you can obviously take short-term trades, etc., but as of right now, with the interest rate decision, I wouldn't be taking any trades. But another bullish thing on Bitcoin is the fact that, well, we have a symmetrical triangle on the RSI. We're at support on the RSI as well as we are at support on the price action, and as well as we are setting up for a bullish MACD cross. On top of this, volume is descending in the downwards trend. So it really is undeniable that TA doesn't look too bad. What the TA actually suggests at this point, if I was looking at this from a completely TA perspective with no macro events, I would suggest that this TA looks as though we're going to see another upswing to 40.5k at least. 45k at least. 45.5k at least. Past 42k. However, given the macro picture, the highest I think we'll go is 42.5k, and even getting there will be a challenge. So this is kind of just a video to kind of explain that, yeah, the TA looks good. Like, there's no denying the TA in the short term looks pretty good for a bounce. But we need to be rational here, and we need to be considering the macro events that are at play, and we also need to be considering the long-term trends, right? Because before we jump into the market, before we even start thinking about another bull market, right, we have to be taking the 50-week SMA. That's currently at 46k, all right? And then above that, there's the top bull market support band. I would say we need to take 47k in order to re-enter a bull market on Bitcoin. And 47k is kind of a long way away. It's something that's so long away we can't even think about it. We're at 38k now. So 47k is what? 47k is like, you know, a 25% gain away. Given the macro picture, seems very unlikely. And given how much resistance is at just 42.5k, it seems unlikely. But yeah, again, this is a video to say, yeah, the TA looks good, but you should be stay grounded. Stay grounded. You got 48 hours, you know, wait 48 hours for the interest rates decision. See what happens, you know, and then we can start talking about other things. But look, at the end of the day, you know, even according to TA, there's no reason for me to be invalidating my bear market prediction until we break the 50-week SMA and close above it. We're not going to do that yet, and we haven't done that yet. And even if we break to the upside here, and even if the interest rate decision doesn't go through, we're still not going to do that yet, and we're still probably going to look a little bit bearish due to the macro picture in terms of the longer term trend on the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. It's one of those things right now where you just have to wait and see what happens. You don't have to jump to any conclusions. Sometimes no trade is the best trade, and that's kind of the message of this video. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.